About 2 years ago, I met this guy they call the Baseball Doctor in Pearland, Texas, and we shot a ton of baseball content. And in this video, I want to compile the best of the best from the Baseball Doctor and create the best baseball hitting drills video ever so that you can steal some of these and use it with your team and have a lot of success. Let's get into it. Real quick before we get into the video, guys, Josh Cathcart, aka the Baseball Doctor, he's coming to Orlando. He's putting on a hitting camp April 23rd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's for ages 10 to 13 years old. 24 spots available only. It's at Turn 2. If you want to sign up or learn more, go to baseball-doctor.com because he's going to have a lot of great stuff. My son has a t-ball game that day, but I'm going to try to swing by, see you guys as well. So go ahead and sign up. I'll leave the link down below as well. But let's get into it. Let's see some of the best baseball hitting drills by the Baseball Doctor. Here's number one.
As far as drills are concerned, you know, you always have your standard drills that everybody sees. But when you have players, especially in the lesson setting, that are coming in every single week, they may not be practicing as much as they should at home. Happens, right? I have to come up with things to keep them engaged. And there's so many different ways to get that done now, but kids want that instant gratification, the tablet, the phone, the whatever it is. And so to just come in and get on a tee and move the tee around, while that may be good for a more advanced guy that really knows how to grind and get after his craft, when you're talking about 8, 9, 10-year-olds that sometimes would rather be anywhere else but in a cage with you at the time, you've got to get creative. So these are a couple of the ones that I've come up with, you know, just to kind of throw in the mix that is going to allow us to still be working on our swing, but also gets the kid kind of in that mindset like, oh, I'm doing something else. I'm not just standing up here getting bored, okay? So the first two that we have involve this big rig 18-wheel tire.
Everything's big in Texas.
Everything is bigger in Texas. All right, now you can actually get a smaller tire if you would want for the young kids, but this one works. You can do it with a partner. If the tires are real, you know, steady, maybe not need a partner, but we're going to go ahead and get into this. This is one to work on staying through pitches. So I'm going to do a little demonstration right here and just kind of show you what we're talking about. For young guys, what you normally see is a swing that I call in the zone, out of the zone. All right, and there's different ways that they go about that. If my pitch is right here, okay, and I want to be able to get on plane with this pitch and be able to work to the middle of the field, this would be what I would consider a smooth or consistent bat path. Where we're here, we can make adjustments down, we can make adjustments up, whatever we need to do. Young players, however, have a tendency to be here. In the zone, out of the zone. In the zone, out of the zone. Across the zone. Or pushing this way. Okay? They have a hard time staying through the middle with their swing path. So this is what this drill is going to work on. All right? You can change locations. I'm going to start kind of down at the bottom of the zone and work my way up. What we want to pay close attention to is kind of the smoothness all in a direction out to the center of the field. I'm going to do a couple of good ones, and then I'm going to kind of cut across a couple and let y'all see what that would look like. So here we go. Pitch down. Make contact. This is right off the inside of my front hip. And now all the way out this way. Staying palm up, and you'll notice my extension is kind of out toward right center here. All right, if we bring that back, if I was going to cut that, this is what this would look like. I would be coming in here, and now I would come and cut it. And that tire is going to fall over right there because I'm cutting across. Okay, another problem is kids that want to scoop at that down pitch. Okay, they want to kind of get here and then work straight up like more of a golf swing. So that's what this would be here. And then they kind of come off of it really quick and it just slides up that tire. All right, so now the middle. Contact point, push out, palm up. And now notice here my extension is more to the center of the field. That down and away, my extension was more to right center. That pitch kind of middle. Here, back out to the middle of the field. All right, this is also a really good drill for strength elements for these kids. All right, being able to get this tire moving, just those couple for me in the forearms and wrist Really, really good strength exercise. So when you need bat path, you want to talk about direction to the middle, break you out a tire and have some fun with it.
If you don't mind, I'm going to jump in. I was just guiding the tire. I wasn't helping him in any way. I was just kind of guiding it. And if it was falling, catching it. That's basically
and
all
look, we can do one with his hands off. I mean, that tire should stay there. Okay, and if you have good direction with it, it's not going to fall all over the place. All right, now, I wouldn't suggest using an 18-wheel tire with a little 8-year-old right here. He may get crushed, right? So let's be a little bit smart about it. All righty, the hula hoop. Okay, I get weird looks when I break out the hula hoop, especially this hula hoop, because it lights up. All right, so we have a party sometimes. All right, so basically with this one, this is all about hand path and being able to turn and maintain this arc in the hands. Now, we can get into a little bit of a debate about this if you want to. Okay, people talk about what are the hands really doing in a swing. And for me, I hate the term take your hands to the ball. Okay, that's just not something that I use a lot with young kids because they take it literal. And if you take that terminology literal, it turns into this. And now I'm stuck. The only way to get this barrel now is to pull back and come down or to back out of this. And we talked about that space earlier. So I don't like the terminology, take your hands to the ball. I will say, at the beginning of the swing, the direction is knob to the ball. Okay, I am good with that. But I am not good with, hey, kids, take your hands to the ball. It doesn't work for most unless it's explained. That's where the hula hoop comes in. The hand path is actually a slight arc. Okay, that's the way that this moves. And we should be able to hold. We talked about that box and angles earlier. Okay, get them into launch. The key here is to make sure that the hoop doesn't change positions. So what that would look like is that this hula hoop, all of a sudden I start pushing and it starts moving on me. Okay, or if I come like this and it starts dropping because I'm getting that back elbow sucked underneath me and it drops behind me. We want to be able to hold these angles. The front arm angle, the rear arm angle, and now watch as it's nice and smooth. To right here. Now this is as far as you want to go with this drill to where we get to this connected position right in here. Notice how smooth that transition is, and it's kind of the arc right here in these hands. All right, once we get going here, I also don't want to have my guys start to push out this way. That's not what we're looking for. It's just going to be to this point, rock the hands kind of underneath this elbow or chest, right in here. This is a really, really good drill for the young guys. And again, you're going to catch their attention just by throwing a hula hoop in their hands. Okay? So, really, really solid one here. The next one that we're going to do is a high tee, which is up and in. This is going to work on staying connected at the top and really being able to turn properly without losing the barrel, without falling back out of posture. All right? Tee and where you set it up is so important. I see young kids, they come in here and they get on the tee and they just they'll set it back here somewhere, or they'll be on the inside pitch and they'll set it here on the plate. Make sure that you understand the contact points. Okay? Inside is going to be more out in front. Middle would be right here. And then outside is going to be on that outer third and a little deeper. So for this high inside, I'm going to raise that tee up. If you look at this, this is just about nipple high, chest high here, okay? Get in the regular stance. The first time I want to think about just kind of turning this front elbow inside of this, okay? And just basically turning to get the barrel to contact. I talk a lot about holding angles, okay? Both in the front arm and in the rear arm. You'll notice if I get set right here, I form kind of this box with the bat coming off of the right shoulder into this front arm and then up. I want to maintain that box. And as I start to turn, hold the box, hold the box, hold the box. And then we would release and get that barrel there. Okay? If the student can start to pull this one off without having to fall back to create space, this is what you're looking for, all right? Again, if you get a little bit more advanced or you get a hitter that's really good with this drill, you can basically combine this one with the walkout. You get right here and you should be able just to go straight into that, okay? There shouldn't be any fall back here. There shouldn't be any lunging with the head. What you will see most common is kids that are trying to create space for themselves, all right? This is a little bit of a tougher concept for young guys, but if I'm right here, I've got a certain amount of space to get this swing off, okay? Most guys are going to start lunging at this a little bit, coming forward to try to get there, and then they realize, I don't have any more room, and so they end up backing out of the way of this, all right? Not what you're looking for. We want to be able to turn right here and not have any fallback or misdirection, okay? So this is your high inside T drill. Really, really good. This is pretty standard as a warm-up for all my guys pretty much every day. So there's going to be 2 drills with this PVC. And I'm going to be honest, y'all. When I first started out years ago, I was not a big fan of the PVC. Okay? You saw all these people doing this stuff with their shoulders and kind of getting all this, and I didn't really understand it all. But now after years of coaching and getting it, I really, really like this. Okay? So the first one we're going to do is just your standard across the chest. Okay? We're going to come in, and I just want to be smooth with my tilt, my shoulder tilt, okay, right in here. And I'm just going to do a couple of these, maintaining a smooth path, okay? Now, what a bad path would look like is if I got going here, down, and then all of a sudden I started changing, and now all of that flattens out, or I come over the top, or I'm scooping up and my shoulders are coming back. But I want to be front side, and then think about just bringing this right shoulder underneath my chin. Getting that shoulder tilt, being able to hold posture. I'm going to turn this other way so you can kind of see this spine angle right here. I want to be able to hold that angle as I'm getting into my turn. Okay, so that was going to be the first one, just your standard posture and tilt with the PVC. Now, this next one is going to be a full swing with this PVC. This is key. You have to measure this, okay? If you don't, you'll end up poking yourself in the chest. We want to take this, put it right in our chest, and then move our arms out and give ourselves a little bit of space, okay? The reason for that is when I make a full swing here in a second, I want to make sure that my extension is all the way out to the center of the field and I'm not getting stuck in here with my arms bent. I want to be able to get out to a full extension here. All right? So the way that this would look, you're going to have a little choke up. By the way, this is 5 feet, okay? And this is pretty standard for all my hitters, 5-foot PVC. So just get into your normal launch position. Again, we want to think about knob to the catcher, my barrel angle kind of at a 45, and again, I'm always going to look at this box with this front side, okay? Hips going to start, make sure that we're always sequencing correctly, and then we get into this lag position. In this lag position, I want to check for 2 things. Number 1, that my knee is now worked under my body, and that the barrel is parallel, or the bat is parallel to the ground at this position, where my right hand is stacked up with my elbow, my hip, and my knee. All right, from right there, we just want to go ahead, continue to turn, let the barrel start to work under my hands, out to the center. There's the full extension, and then all the way through, okay? And then I like to back chain this. Some of you may or may not be familiar with back chaining, but back chaining would be taking this from my finished position and working backwards. All the way back, letting that barrel work back underneath the hands, pulling this back, and now I'm right back into my launch position, and then able to go through this again. Back hip, lag, barrel's working under, all the way out, and through. Once we get going, now it's going to be a full swing. and you should really start to feel just a nice flow of this swing. Okay, so those are my 2 PVC drills to really lock in a more consistent path. Next, we're going to move in. John's going to bring these 2 tees in for me. What we're going to do here is you want to make sure that when we're attacking this ball, we aren't really coming up real steep on this backside, hitting this back tee. And then, of course, we know we don't want to come down. All right, need to raise that up. Now, the setup for this, just so y'all get a gauge, about a ball difference right here in these tees, okay? That's going to be the setup there. And then on the back corner of home plate, and then right out in front where we would want a middle fastball, all righty? On this, I like to think, and I like to instruct my guys to kind of think about getting to the inside of this baseball. If you want to turn this, you can, right in between the laces. You can go through a full swing. Again, I like to start everything in launch to warm up, and just nice and slow, over the top to the inside. Back it up. Again, over the top to the inside. Now notice when I get to this tee, the barrel is not coming over it this way and down. I'm already working that barrel underneath my hands. Notice the angle right here. Okay? Underneath the hands, 1, 2, and then make your swing. If you can get that under control to where as we're making this, we're not hitting that other one, and we get a perfect line drive, you know you started to create a consistent path. If we're getting back here, we're banging that one, or you're starting to hit the ball into the ground, we still need some work here. So one more time from launch. Barrel works under to the inside. Barrel works under to the inside, and then a full swing. Oh, caught that one pretty good. That's what that wood bat's supposed to feel like. Alrighty, so that's your 2T drill. The next one we're gonna do, we're gonna bring in these cool little toys. The setup for this, now these are tap conditioning poles. This is a whole setup here. I think John may sell them actually too. So on this back outside corner and the very back corner of home plate, okay, that is the setup for this. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard of kind of an inside out approach, okay? It's one of those things where I like the idea, but that's not really what I want my guys swinging like, right? We don't necessarily want you pushing out to the other, opposite field. We want to be able to turn the barrel. We want to be able to get on plane, and like we're talking about in this video, have consistent path. All right, so with this, the setup, this back pole is the bat length to my foot. Okay, so that's there. And then your front foot, just get comfortable. All righty? Now what we want to do is we want to be able to get to this connection and then turn the barrel inside of these. Right in here. If I was going to cast out and get out here, I would bang it right there. Okay? I want to be able to turn to the inside and really think about driving this ball right back up the middle the other way. All right? This is a really cool setup. Feel like you're kind of swinging in a box right here. 1, remember, hold the box here. Turning through, barrel's working under the hands naturally. I'm not pushing. Okay, that's a no-no. Just turn and release to the center. All right. Now we're going to get into the drills to help you fix bat drag. All right. So the first one I don't even need a bat, don't even need a ball. All you need is a dumbbell. Okay. And this comes from the wrist strength, forearms, rear arm. Okay. We can hold this dumbbell just like it was. This happens to be a 10-pound dumbbell. Obviously, the younger kids, you can get down into the 5, 3s. Older kids, you may want to go up to 15. Okay, I wouldn't get up into 20s, starts putting a little bit too much strain on the shoulders. Okay, but basically this is just a connected turn with a dumbbell. So here, start my hips, always sequence. Okay, if we get going here and we're turning our whole body at the same time, you're going to create a lot of habits you don't want. Okay, so from launch, make sure the hip is going first, but then as we start our turn, getting the top of the dumbbell right to that shoulder and getting to this parallel position again. Okay, so hip, turn and connect, right in here. That's the entire drill. Okay, there's nothing else. Being able to turn, connect, and get to this parallel position. All right, so that's just your dumbbell turn. Now we're going to get in to what I can call a lag progression. Okay, I really like progression drills where the player can feel what the body is doing one step to the next through the swing. And then in some of our other videos, we talked about back chaining before, where we're actually bringing it back from a position to the top. Okay, so we're going to start out in that launch position. Progression number one is just going to be to get connected. So connect. Notice at this position, the barrel is above slightly and behind my top hand. This is crucial, y'all. Okay, the barrel cannot get outside of my top hand early. Okay, I tell some of my guys as a cue to think about hiding the barrel from the pitcher. So as I'm coming in here, the pitcher can't see the barrel, can't see the barrel, can't see the barrel, can't see the barrel, can't, and then boom, right before contact, then show him that barrel. Okay, so that's getting into lag. So connect one, check the barrel position. Turn, get the chest open to home plate. There is our lag. Okay, this is a really good tight lag position, and then I would be able to just release straight through. Okay, so that's the first one. It's just a progression, connection, check, into lag, pull that back, and then through. Alrighty. The next one that I like for this is just kind of one that I don't want to think about getting outside. So it's just replace the elbow. Okay, so from right here, if I take my left hand and come across where I'm kind of creating this box again, but I want to think about taking the knob and just replacing that front elbow. So here, turn down, you can notice where that knob comes right where that front elbow is, right in here. This gets me into a lag position. If I take that knob and I go out, now I'm in a drag position. Okay? So from here, replace the elbow. 1, 2, and then you can go ahead, make your swing. And I just like to hold this off. This isn't a must. Okay? I just like to do it just to make sure that we're still palm up. That gets into a whole nother video. But palm up, extend to the front. So choke up, across, replace the elbow. 1, 2, and then through. All right? So those are 3 of my favorites when we're dealing with fixing bat drag.
But tell us some of your favorite drills with the connection balls and why they're so good. And first, why are these different sizes?
That's the big thing, y'all, with connection balls. And at this point, if you're in the baseball world as a hitter, pitcher, you've probably seen these connection balls. They're really popular. They are a fantastic tool. I use them a lot for different drills. But one of the things that I wanted to point out, me and John were talking a little bit before this, is the size. Okay? These inflate and deflate. Okay? This is actually, when you get them in the package, this is the exact same ball. This one is aired up more. This one is deflated a little bit. The reason it's important to understand the size difference is because your hitters are different sizes. Okay? I gave the example when we were talking. If I've got a little 8-year-old that's having a problem creating space in his front arm, I don't want to give him this full-size balloon. His arms are going to be hanging out this way and he's not going to be able to move. Okay? So we would deflate that a little bit, and now for the young guys, really be able to get in here. Okay? Now, as the name states, the connection ball is used so that players can feel themselves staying connected. Okay? There's some pitching drills also that we can use for these, but for today's video, we're going to be dealing with hitting. Okay? So let's talk about what connection looks like first in hitting. When we talk about getting connected, we are generally talking about connecting the upper half once we get separation from the hips. Okay, so if I was in launch position, I want to get those hips going. There's my hip and shoulder separation. Now I want to start my turn, and at this point, this would be connection, where it's like this back elbow's connecting to the back hip, the barrel's connecting to the rear shoulder. I have my hands, my hip, and my knee kind of stacked or connected together, and then I want to stay here with this box, okay, and being able to stay connected through this turn. When I take the connection ball and I put this in here, that is going to allow me, without any thought on my part, just to turn, and I'm going to create and hold that space in connection. There's various places you can put this. Each one kind of serves a different purpose. I'm going to go ahead and trade out to the bigger size. All right, so for this one, like I said just a second ago, creating that space between the chest and front arm to allow us to get through our swing a little easier. If the front arm gets pinned, we have a tendency to roll over, okay? The other way is you're going to see a lot of players that have initial hand movement in the wrong direction. So they may start here and they start coming out with this. That would be disconnected, okay, where I'd be connected here, disconnected. They may also go down, okay, and if they go down, you're going to feel this thing roll, and now my hands are in a really bad spot, okay? May even go up, and if you get rolling here, you end up getting real steep on this, okay? So this just allows players to feel the proper positioning of the upper body, okay, as they get through the swing. So let's go ahead. We're going to get into a couple of these. The first one I'm going to do really focuses on keeping our head through the baseball, or through the swing on the baseball. This is one of my favorites, okay? I haven't seen this too many other places, okay? If you have a connection ball, I would highly recommend this one for anybody that has a problem kind of pulling their head up and out of their swing. So the way you would set this up, this is going to go on the front side, okay? So front arm, create the box. Again, I like to start most of my drills from launch. You can always go into a full swing with these. I just prefer with younger guys and warming up and everything like that to go from launch. Okay, so right in here, I'm going to go ahead and hit this one, and notice where the ball ends up and where my head is. Okay, my head directly down to the tee with my eyes, my back shoulder in line with that tee, and now I've kind of caught this ball on the other side. Okay, let's go ahead and do one more of those. Maintain the box, get into launch, through my swing, release, head down, chin on that right shoulder. Okay, one of the hitters that really comes to mind on this one is Nolan Arenado. Okay, and he's just a prime example of a guy that really keeps his head down on the ball through the swing a long time, and that connection ball really helps with that. Okay, now there can be some problems, okay, and I want y'all to be very aware of some of the issues that can come up with this. All right, if we take this and we go into our front arm, one of the things that you want to make sure to avoid is that your hitters don't start sucking this back elbow and start touching forearm to forearm. Notice what position that got the barrel in, okay? This is a barrel dump position, which is going to turn into back drag, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in another video, okay? But don't allow that back elbow to touch, okay? We want to be able to come through and get into our connected turn. We're connected right there with that back elbow off of the ball. And remember, we're turning, and then that barrel is going to work under at this point. Go ahead and make your swing. So be very aware that that back elbow doesn't touch. All right? Okay, for the next one, we're just going to prop this up on the back side. Okay? And this is going to allow us to really feel the proper position of not only the knob direction, but kind of this rear arm, okay, in our launch position. So if we take this right in here, okay, and again, we're just going to work through the turn. Start to come here. Everything stays connected as we get through. Parallel, you can notice where that bat is. If this connection ball wasn't here, okay, I could start to have a lot of problems right in this way or getting that elbow tucked underneath. This is going to force me to hold the angle in the rear arm and get into a proper lag position. Again, this is bat lag when we get here. Bat drag would be if we lose this and get stuck and we have to drag the bat through the zone. All right? You can make swings from this position here. So we would get set, launch, go ahead and make your swing, and that ball can just shoot out over there for you. Okay? The next one that we're going to do is staying connected all the way through the swing. Okay? So with this, right here in the middle again, on our hands. Okay, just right in the middle, and then we want to kind of roll back to get our hands in that loaded position. Load the scaps. Y'all have all heard that terminology probably at this point. And on this one, I'm going to swing over the top slowly the first time. You want to be able to make your swing, and then we're going to stop out at extension. Okay, so we have palm up in a good extension position. All right, so right here in the middle, into launch, swing out, all the way to extension. So these are some of my favorite drills with this connection ball. Good training tool, but again, there are some things to look out for. Make sure that your size is correct for the hitter. If they look uncomfortable, if you've got a little hitter and they're like sticking out, I can't really do much, take the air out, okay? Give them this smaller one so that they can really feel a more natural position. You don't want to get them out of their natural position here. So again, connect into this and then out all the way to extension. Alrighty, so those are three of my favorite connection ball drills. Go get you one of these. You can get them on John's website here. Fantastic. And there's also some uses for pitching. I'm just not a pitching guy.
Thank you again, Josh.
Absolutely,
I appreciate
man.
it. Great hitting drills. Go check out his YouTube channel. I'll leave a link down below. Tons of great hitting advice over there. Go over there, hit the subscribe button, click the bell so you're notified. He's posting a bunch of new videos all the time. Really good information, so check it out. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank y'all.